and of course programmed education. If they can get you when you're young and indoctrinate you, it's easier to control you. A 30 to 40-year-old adult is going to have that bit of critical thinking in their head to say, maybe this isn't for me. Mind you, might be in a weakened state, so they can still be influenced. But a child's a different ballgame. And that's why a lot of cults would have the families brought in, and then it was like the cult was raising your children. You didn't get that same say that the cult did. And the funny thing, and I talk a lot about 30 to 40s and talk about children, but 20-year-olds, when I was 20, we were not exempt from this. Me and a buddy of mine, and I'm going to tell you guys this story. We attended a church that was very cult-like, and we went there. I want to say about 6 months to a year. Well, I don't know about him, but I went there about 6 months to a year myself. And they would do this odd thing where they would talk in tongues. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, essentially it was a way for the Holy Spirit to translate what was being said into other language so people could hear. This, however, is a different story. If any of you have ever seen people talk in tongues, like actually talk in tongues, different videos, you can YouTube this. It's gibberish. There's no known language that these people are speaking that has ever existed. It's just gibberish. It's this weird sway. And we're talking, this church had thousands of people, maybe more, at its height. I'm not talking about when it started to wane, but at its height. And these people are just, they're basically controlled. And this guy would have like 3 tithes a sermon. So he's like, give me all your money, give me all your money. And the whole time I'm watching these people do this. And let me tell you, there's nothing creepier than watching people basically fall into a trance. But as a group of people, not just 1 or 2 people. And this guy would lay hands, he would do all that. He was a
and televise it. And
televised it. Now, the scriptures say to test. They always say to test the people who are doing this. And I said, you know what? Let's test this. Let's test this man's abilities. So I said, okay. So I went up there one night. And as many of you know, I've had multiple ankle fusion surgeries. That's neither here nor there. I went up there one night to see if he could, this was before the surgeries themselves. And I was like, let me see if you can put your hands on my forehead and heal me. I want to see if it's possible. Let's see if it's physically possible for you to do this. I had already had my doubts about the church before. I was never really pulled into it to a place where I'm like, man. It was just some of the people that were really cool, like my good friend. And he put his hands on me like the faith leaders do, and you feel this weird energy. I'm not going to say that I didn't feel anything, but I felt this weird energy, and it was probably because of the hype and all that. And then I got up, and I still had the same physical limitation. And right then and there, I'm like, you're a charlatan.
Like what you heard? Well, head on over to our YouTube channel to check out more episodes of This Uncanny Earth, including this one, 187, Would You Join a Cult? And as always, why be boring when you could be uncanny?